Well, greetings everyone and welcome back to the Bass Blaster Audio Tech YouTube channel with a very messy desk. This video should be quick, say it every time. This is should just be a clean volume knob. I got this old radio here. This is a Windsor JB380. We keep this around for whenever our power goes out because it's battery operated. My dad has had this thing as long as I can remember. Complaint is volume knob scratchy. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bust this thing open. However, it does open. And probably just shoot some deoxit into it. How does this open? First, let's oh, that's neat. It runs on 6 volts, but I can run it on 9, which I think I can because it's just, I'm pretty sure it's just a transistor radio. However, we're going to alligator clip it to my power supply. Oh, cool! My iPhone just turned itself on. And we'll give it 6 volts just to be safe. Well, while I'm digging for my parts, I did a Google search before I started this. I can't find a year on this radio. It's a replica of a 40s, 50s jukebox. It does have a light around it, but I can't find a year of manufacture. Let's turn her on. That looks awful loose to me. Let's try to get on one of our local stations. Copyright, let's find a commercial. Wow, that's touchy. There's no gear. Like, this entire knob only has half a turn. So I'm pretty sure it goes straight into the tuning capacitor. Okay, never mind. I cannot get any stations with this thing. Either that or it's so sensitive and I'm just straight up flying over it. But let's kill the light. We can see what the little lights on the front of this look like. There you go. Just lights up the ring. It's not that awful bright. Off. On. Let's see. This foam in the back comes out, so there's probably a screw hidden under it. I can see there's plastic clips in the bottom on the front. It's the front. Maybe this foam don't come out. No, I think it's got a little thing of glue in the middle of it. No, there's a screw. Alright, where's a screwdriver? That's a long one. Let's pull these knobs off. You got them knobs just come right off. Ooh. Yep. Tuning knob just goes straight into the tuning cap. So how do you come apart? There's no screws behind this label, is there? There is. This is a plastic type label, and you can bend it back just enough to get in that screw hole. But that's it. Oh, there it is. It just popped open. Okay. Ooh, there's an IC in it. One single IC. We didn't need to take the knob off. Okay, so it's not a completely transistor-only radio. We do have one IC. That is a KA22427. That's probably just one of those all-in-one. It'll have a little tiny speaker amplifier in it. Maybe your no, not multiplexer. Whatever that's needed for the tuner. I'm not too familiar with my tuners. But there's our volume pot. See if I can pull the board out and get a snoop at the other side of it. I can't put my feet on my footrest because there's an amplifier sitting on it. Okay, so this board comes out. Take this knob back off. I see 3 screws. Yep, out it comes. Okay. I think I already see the issue with this pot here. It's got an exposed wiper and track. It's not sealed, like it's open. And it's loose, like it wiggles. There's nothing to hold it down because it's open. Well, that's held on with a wee tiny little screw. Pull out the Rack Shack specialty screwdrivers. Oh, right there. Ah, June of '88. It's right there in the circuit board. And there's our model number, JB380. Oh, never mind, it already came out. It's extremely short thread. Yeah, get a little closer, see what I'm talking about. It's completely open wiper. Yeah, look at that. There's our wiper, and there's our track. So not only is it probably very dirty, I can imagine it might be loose if that screw wasn't tight enough, which could make sense. So I'll just give a quick shot of deoxide into that, then I'll put the screw down a little tighter when I reattach the knob, and we'll try it again. Also, just why not? I'll shoot one quick into each of these switches, because this one for the light is kind of dicky. Oh yeah, good old D5. Got it out in my Rat Shack before it turned into a Sprint store, before it closed completely. I wish that store was still in this town. I'm in a small town, so I literally have no electronic shops unless you travel to the nearest big city, which from my house is about 25 minutes. I used to still have my first ever roll of solder that I bought from Rat Shack. In my first ever LM386, I turned it into a audio frequency signal tracer. I believe. Yeah, this. It's got a capacitor coupled. I'll make a video on this. It's a signal tracer. I made this before I had my scope. So when I troubleshooted an audio path and an amplifier, I could use this. Runs on a 9-volt, I believe. It's just a normal old 386. Yep, my probe, I made an RCA input on it with a speaker from an old Bluetooth speaker. Pretty neat, actually. I made this schematic and published it online, and someone copied it, revised it, and republished it, but still put my name on it. Whoever republished it knew what they were doing, because they added a lot more filtering to it. Okay. Something there. Are these switches open on the sides? Nope, they're closed, so we'll just dump it in from the top. This stuff will seep down. Yep, I see it coming up the bottom. June of '88. She's vintage, alright. I gotta be careful because these tiny, tiny thin wires are just soldered straight to the board. There's not even as much as hot glue on that to hold it down. So if that wire snaps, I got to resolder it. Let's go ahead and put this back on and try to tighten it a little more. Maybe that'll hold it a little better. Yeah, this thing's hard to tune. That literally just goes straight into the tuning cap. There's not even a step down gear or nothing. Like, just fits straight over it. I don't know how it fits over because I can't get it over it now. Oh, that goes on there. The other knob goes on it. Ah, it's this one. Yep. Yep. Of all my stereo equipment I got, the only thing I have that has these is one of my equalizers. I thought Fisher, but I don't have any Fisher EQs. Oh, it's what's it called? Shit, I can't think of it. Audio Source, I think. Yeah, Audio Source. I have an Audio Source EQ, one with the Spectrum Analyzer. It's got that on the sliders. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Is there nothing in here that can short on? No, everything's plastic. Turn her on. I wish my tripod wasn't so high in the air. Oh well, aerial view. Volume control is a lot cleaner. Still wiggles a little bit, but it's better than it was. Alright. Well, let's kill power, flip it over, get it back together. Well, I just realized I forgot to press record. The only thing I did was I screwed the board back in. But for what it's worth, the speaker is 8 ohms, half watt, and has a model number YD58-2B. The generic. You know what this is? This is an alarm clock speaker. That's what that is. That is the same speaker computers in the 90s used for their internal beepers when computers had speakers built into them, and alarm clocks. They used them speakers. I wish I still had it. I had this alarm clock radio from, I think, the mid to late 80s. Motherfucker was like 2 feet long, got 8 inches deep, about 5 inches tall. And it had 2 speakers like this, but 4 inches on each side, like completely horizontal. Let me tell you, that thing actually put out a little bit of bass. It was quite impressive. But of course, I was a little kid then, and I couldn't keep my fingers out of it, and I ripped the surrounds. Man, look at how this wiring just goes in like that. As long as I don't screw the wiring down. Oop, got to remember to clip it into its little feet pegs at the bottom. No, the antenna wire keeps coming out. Okay, there we go. Careful not to damage the front. That sounded cool. My screwdriver hit my screw holder. Try to get under this so I can peel it back just a little bit. Long screw went here behind the battery foam. There we go. I'm gonna put a 9-volt in it. Now, wait, oops, forgot to put our knobs on. Never forget your knobs. I don't know if this battery has any charge in it or not. I think it came out of one of my Harbor Freight multimeters. I had a mini heart attack. I put this battery in and I thought I killed it because nothing happened. So I put it back to my supply. No, that battery was just dead. So, yeah, our light still works. Let's find us a station, or try to. This radio really benefits from the antenna. So as I'm holding it, when I go through the whole dial, I'm getting the same Luke Combs song, and I'm not sure what's up with that. I wonder if a wire came loose inside, because this seems to be acting really weird. So after tearing it apart again, no wire was pinched and no wire was broken. And going through 2 9-volt batteries, this one tests 7 volts on the meter. This one tests like 9.5 volts. I plugged it in, turned it on, and it went to like 0.5. So that one's dead. So here's a Rayovac, and it's working. So let's see if we can get a station. And I know this thing don't have good reception to begin with, because even when I'm upstairs, this thing hardly picks up anything. But we'll try it. I think it's just because I only have half a turn for the whole dial. I think I'm just going so fast, I'm just zipping over the stations and I don't even hear it. On top of that, all these electronics in my room probably don't help. I got dual LED lights, and let's shut off one of them.
Of the late 19th century, striking to me.
So here's AM.
Commits himself right away to the Whig debates. Why? What fascinates him about the debate society?
I'm getting nothing on FM. What the fuck? Nothing. I got my ear to the speaker. I'm going through the whole dial. I am getting nothing on FM. How? Well, we have a great issue that I can't understand. I took it up to the other room, and it's stuck on one channel. I'll turn it all the way up, and watch me turn the knob. You'll hear the same song playing. Okay, hearing it by my window. I have a better idea. Okay. It's the same song. Through the whole dial. Now, AM works as should.
In the aftermath, goes fully in.
But FM is stuck on.
Best country is right here. Nash Icon. 107.9 and 98.5. Nash Icon.
And it's all the way up, too. So yeah, I don't know what happened. Something in the tuner has obviously decided it doesn't want to work no more. And I don't know what it could be, because this is literally, I think, as simple as you can make an FM tuner and still have it function as an FM tuner. Well, I doubt getting a schematic for this is going to be very easy, and posting online probably isn't going to help much, so I don't know what to do. Guys, I'm sorry for the handheldness. I have to get ready to leave for work in about 15 minutes. But while I've been home, I found it. I found the issue. Will you focus, please, phone? Okay, anywho, I found the issue. It's a bad solder joint. I got my good old plastic screwdriver, and I started tapping around the board, and bang, just like that, FM came back. Now, I knew it was in this general area. On this side of the board. Okay, you're about to go into the tripod. Well, my screwdriver wasn't doing it, so I got close with my eye, and looky what I found. If it'll focus, it might not. Okay, right there, right in the middle. That, I believe, is that the resistor lead? No, it's right next to it. Okay, so, whoa. Okay, so right here, I'll put some editing. This resistor here, I believe, is a 1K. It's connected to the other end of this tiny, I don't think it's a choke. Let's just call it a coil for now. It's going to be the other end of that coil. That end of the coil right there, the solder joint's broke. Man, this is some... If y'all got motion sickness, I'm zoomed in so far I can't even see it myself. Okay, right here, you can kind of see that little ring around it. So, what we're going to do... I already got my iron on, because I was just going to resolder this whole side of the board. But then I found it exactly, and we're good. So you're going to go into the tripod, because I'm not going to hold you anymore. So, that may have sounded very badly, because I'm in such a hurry. But I'm also excited that I found the issue to this. Man, I really got to clean this desk up. I've had no time. Senior in high school and working 5 days a week. What's free time?
I got it. I want it. I got it.
Okay, that is a weak channel. Up. Okay, that's got no fine adjustment at all.
Has been passed down through
Is this
generations.
97.7?
Sounds better now than ever before. WILE FM 97.7.
Yes. So there it is. Broken solder joint on... I'm just going to call it a coil. I'm not familiar with my tuners. To be honest, I don't quite understand how they work, let alone how they... Like how to make one and how to troubleshoot one. Although I've never been good at troubleshooting. But we're going to get our iron out. We're going to touch up that solder joint. And then I'm going to get ready and go to work. I'll put it back together when I get home tonight. There we go. This big 1 pound roll of Kester solder is probably the most valuable thing on my desk. Next to maybe the 10 amp linear power supply. Sir, you sneaky little fucker. I might just resolder a bunch on this board, but to be honest, like there are, okay, now that I'm like looking, there are more spots that I can see are kind of dry. Oh, that's cool. The wax started bubbling. That should be good. So this thing only gets used once or twice a year. We just keep this little radio around. One, because it looks cool, but we only really use it when we lose power. Which we're lucky, it doesn't actually happen a lot.
Want to see it again? Listen very
fine, you know. So marked bills or coins or just a credit or debit card to Little Caesars. Come alone.
Probably should have it so high because I am using it on my battery because I got tired of fighting with my alligator clips. Okay, there it is. It is 3:31, so I'm gonna call this for this afternoon. I'll be back tonight and get her back together. Okay, a little bit later than I expected, but we're back. Okay, I'm at an awkward angle because there's not enough room on my desk to put the tripod in the corner where it usually goes, but whatever.
Hated that song. They did. They didn't want it to see the light of day. We hate this thing. The guys at the label said, guys, please, come on.
Now we're finally going to put this thing back together for the last time. First, I'm going to put the antenna down because I have an issue with breaking these things. I've broke so many of those antennas. I broke them off of like 3 boom boxes, 2 phone receivers. We used to have some cordless phones from like 2002. And the little base dock had a big old antenna, or else you went in the next room and you lost it. Them phones would be neat to have nowadays. Who knows, they've probably been recycled into 4,000 different Chinese electronics by now. Okay, so I'm going to drop you. You go in this way. I'm going to say, you're not that hard to line up. I'm worried about these lights in the front. Oh yeah, and in my adventures that I didn't record, I tried to add strain relief to the wires to the front lights, all 6 of them, by just putting some hot glue on the bottom of it, just as a strain relief. Though the problem is look how tight. Okay, you really can't see it. The gap between the board and the PCB holder is so little that the hot glue made it so stiff that I couldn't put the board down. So I tried to run the wires out the sides, but then would you look where they conveniently placed both screw holes? That wasn't going to work either. So they got no strain relief. Now the battery wire, I did hot glue blob it. It's fine. And the speaker is fine because it goes through the hole and then buggers off somewhere else. But yep, the lights in the front, which is the tiniest wire, has no strain relief. So yep, just hope that stays. Okay, so this is just like a good old sandwich. Never thought I'd have this radio apart and back together so many times before in my life. Okay, I can't get this on camera. I'm just closing it and making sure it doesn't pinch any wires. Gotta pull our knob back off. Just gonna lift up on this just enough. Tighten this screw down. I guess I gotta pull the battery. But at least now I guess I can put it back on my supply and quit eating one of the only charged 9-volt batteries in this whole house. Which is cool because I also didn't film it. The one night, whatever it was when I quit working on it and called it a night, I left it on all night long. On battery. At least didn't have the lights turned on. But I had the power on, but the volume all the way down. It was on all day. Try to line these up as best as I possibly can. And the tuner with its whole half turn of precision. I've had the camera zoomed in the whole time. That's why it looks so awful. That's always fun.
Politicians promise, but we deliver. Here's another Rock 92.1 choice cut.
That Class B amplifier sounds great. You barely get enough volume to hear it like in the next room, and it clips. which isn't entirely the Class B fault. It's just, you know, it's only supposed to run on 6 volts, but it will run on 9. I have 8 on it now. And an all-in-one IC, which is probably from the mid-80s, isn't going to be the most efficient of designs when it comes to the amplifier. It's Class B, for God's sake. Which for battery, I guess, is fine. I'm half asleep. I'm kind of just rambling now. Wait a minute. Let's completely rip Africa, why don't we? Well, there you go. This was as usual, more time consuming than it should have taken repair of the Windsor JB380, just novelty radio. I mean, it looks like a jukebox. It's got lights in it, but we keep it for when we lose power because it has batteries. Now, I do have a boombox in my closet, but it takes like 24 AA's. It's absolutely absurd. I don't know how they rigged that up. It also can run off like 12 C's. Yeah, so this we can either put 4 AA's or 9 volt in it. And so there you go. As usual, if you guys enjoyed the video, you can always leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye for now.